Arktika, a 33,000-ton icebreaker just shouldered a NATO warship. No torpedoes fired, no missiles launched, just physics. Stay with me, because what this collision means for the law of the sea, what it means for global shipping, is the story that requires telling. This was not an accident. The incident occurred in the Northern Sea Route, a waterway Russia claims as internal, but international law defines as an international strait. The legal framework is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. It's the architecture that prevents maritime disputes from becoming kinetic. The NATO warship was conducting a freedom of navigation operation asserting that legal framework. Let's talk about the Arktika. It is not a warship. It is a state-owned utility vehicle with a hull designed to break meter-thick polar ice. This classification is deliberate. An act of aggression by a naval vessel is war. An act by a civilian vessel is ambiguous. The collision was calibrated to be below the threshold for a NATO Article 5 response. No lives were lost. The frigate was damaged, not sunk. The official Russian statement calls it a navigational miscalculation. The wreckage is real. The dent is 20 meters long. What caused it is the dispute. NATO calls for de-escalation. Russia offers assistance. The vocabulary is diplomatic. The physics were not. Let's talk about the actual target. It was not the warship. It was the system that ensured the warship. Global shipping does not run on fuel. It runs on insurance. Without it, no cargo leaves port. The entire system freezes. The Joint War Committee at Lloyd's Market Association meets. They are not politicians. They are actuaries. They calculate risk. A state actor has just used a 33,000-ton vessel to physically challenge transit rights. The risk is no longer theoretical. It is a data point. The committee issues a new bulletin. The entire Northern Sea Route is declared a listed area, a high-risk zone. Insurance premiums for any vessel transiting the route increase by 500%. The economic case for the route evaporates overnight. Let's talk about the cascade. The physical act created a legal ambiguity. The legal ambiguity created a financial risk. The financial risk achieved the strategic goal. Control of the waterway was achieved without a single lethal shot. This is not war by other means. This is systems warfare. The target was not the ship's hull, but the global system's confidence. Let's talk about the legal shear pin. In engineering, a shear pin is a sacrificial part. It fails under a specific load to prevent a catastrophic failure of the entire system. UNCLOS just acted as a legal shear pin. The framework of international law was challenged with direct physical force. The system could not respond with proportional force without triggering a wider war. So a smaller component failed instead. The principle of innocent passage was sacrificed to avoid a shooting war. The system that kept the peace worked. The system that was supposed to uphold the law did not. This is the vocabulary of modern conflict. It is not about kinetic exchange. It is about creating intolerable ambiguity. Ambiguity that financial systems cannot price. And what cannot be priced cannot be insured. And what cannot be insured does not move. The official statements from Western governments condemn the unsafe maneuver. They speak of international norms. They speak of maritime safety. They are using the language of law to describe an event that just proved law is conditional. The language of the market was more honest. It did not use words like concerning. It used numbers. The collision was a question posed in the language of physics. The answer came back in the language of finance. The legal debate is now academic. The waterway is closed, not by decree, not by blockade. It was closed by a single entry in a risk ledger in London. This is the new battle space. It's not about destroying the enemy's capability to fight. It's about destroying the enemy's ability to plan by making the foundational assumptions of their system unreliable. The West has a vocabulary for war and a vocabulary for peace. It does not have a vocabulary for this. An active force that produces a non-military systemic collapse. From this morning forward, the playbook is different. The most critical infrastructure is not the power grid. It's the shared belief in the rules. This event means that physical force can be used to attack legal and financial code directly. It means the line between a civilian asset and a strategic weapon is now a matter of intent. And it means the most effective weapon is not one that explodes, but one that creates a risk that cannot be calculated. The threshold has been crossed. A precedent is not a memory, it is a capability. The law of the sea did not hold. The market did. And its judgment was absolute. Arktika, a new vocabulary.